As we go to air tonight, parts of Canada's east coast are being pounded by one of the worst storms ever in the region's history. Hurricane Fiona roared through Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island today as a post-tropical storm, leaving behind widespread damage. But the hardest hit area appears to be the southwest coast of the island of Newfoundland, where the storm's impact is devastating. Al Sweeney has the story.
At the height of the storm this morning, high waves swamped houses that collapsed into the ocean near the town of Channel-Port Aux Basques. 2 women were swept away by the waves. 1 was rescued, the other was reported missing. As many as 9 homes were washed out to sea as the high waves combined with a high tide, as the mayor made a desperate appeal to people to get to safety.
Actually, hi, I'm going live here again and going to be pretty direct now with people. We're in the process here of calling a state of emergency. Our town is, in all intents and purposes, we are already in a state of emergency here. It's just going through the formalities now. So anybody that's being told to leave their homes, you need to leave. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You need to leave.
This afternoon, the storm was still approaching the shore with another high tide due tonight. And the mayor said too many people were in the streets and taking pictures.
My only message to you people right now is if you don't leave now, we may not be able to get you out of there when we really need to. So you need to go now.
The Newfoundland and Labrador Weather Office says Fiona's winds were hitting 178 kilometers an hour, way over hurricane strength.
Very high waves and a significant storm surge. And what we've seen quite a bit of damage in Port aux Basques of houses being washed away. I've also seen so it's been a very serious, very destructive storm.
Earlier in the day, Fiona slammed into Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia, including Halifax.
We had 140-kilometer winds. We had a lot of rain. We had trees overturned. We had streetlights turned over. We had a roof that collapsed on an apartment building. We had a lot of trees falling on cars and things like that.
The storm left behind extensive damage as it knocked down trees, flooded streets, and knocked out power to about 500,000 people in much of the region, including CHCH news analyst Keith Leslie.
We're in an area where we're used to some strong winds, but boy, they really started buffeting up. And by midnight, we'd lost power. The winds were just roaring. The house was making noises I've never heard it make before.
Late today, the Prime Minister and his Emergency Preparedness Minister announced military aid for the Maritimes.
Canadian Armed Forces personnel will be deployed to assist with the debris removal and to restore transportation links. And Canadian Armed Forces aerial assets will be used to get a better sense of the damage.
So it's too early for any estimate of the total damage, but emergencies have been declared throughout the region. Now, the Canadian Hurricane Center says they measure the strength and intensity of storms like this by how low the barometer goes. And Fiona set an unofficial record for the lowest ever barometric reading for a storm hitting Canada. Now, for the record, the number was 931.6 millibars.